All right, welcome to this third in a series on counting some rhythms. We've talked in the first video about what the numbers' significance are. We talked about the time signature, the measure, the bar, the quarter note, the half note. We reviewed some of that and went on to the whole note. Now we're going to take it a step further. This is where people can kind of get lost, so please make sure that you can count quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes before you ever start down this route of eighth notes. Okay? Now, the eighth note is the equivalent of half a beat. In 4/4, there are 4 beats to the measure. It's the half a beat because the quarter note gets 1 beat. It takes 2/8 to make 1 quarter. So let's look at this. If I come through here, there are a couple of ways I can write my eighth notes. Way number 1 is with a flag. So every time that one of these notes has a flag on it, looks like a quarter note with a flag, that is an eighth note. Another way to write an eighth note when it's in a pair or in a group is to actually beam them together. All right? Now, as we look at this, they're counted the exact same way, but you're going to see them written in standard notation in both formats, depending on if they're grouped or ungrouped. Why would we want to group them? Because we want your eye to look at that and say, hey, that is 1 beat, or several beats that have transpired with eighth notes. Okay? Anytime there is 1 beam, it's an eighth note. Anytime there's 1 flag, it's an eighth note. Eighth note's the equivalent of half of a quarter note. So we're going to put some of these in here. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 more pairs of eighth notes here. Now, as you all are looking at, you're starting to think, okay, there's 1 beat, there's another beat, and another beat. So there's 4 beats there. You know what it's time for. That's right, the bar line. We've filled up yet another measure of music. So how do we count the eighth notes? If the quarter note is 1, 2, 3, 4, there's something happening between each one of those beats with an eighth note. We're going to use the syllable and to calculate that and to say it. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're keeping our hand to do the steady beat. 1, 2, there's the beat. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we were to count this, again, this is beat 1. There's the and of beat 1. 2 and of beat 2. 3 and of beat 3. 4 and of beat 4. So let's do this together from the top. Very top one up there with the quarter notes. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Now let's make this thing a little crazy, shall we? I'm going to make a brand new page here. I'm going to slide out our manuscript paper again on the page. We're going to go back and make sure we've got our 4/4 time so that we always keep these things organized and you know exactly how many beats they're going to be in a measure. Again, this is going to be really important to group and cluster things together. Then we're going to start throwing stuff here. Let's go with a quarter note. Let's throw in another quarter note. Let's throw in a couple of eighth notes. Oh, and by the way, I moved down a space. In the treble clef, that's the F space, just as a review. 1 more quarter note. Now, as we look at this, I've got 1 beat, another beat, there's the 3rd beat, those 2 eighth notes together, and 1 last beat. That's 4 beats. Time for a bar line. Let's make our next measure have a half note. Let's throw a couple of eighths in for good measure. And then last but not least, let's throw in a quarter, because that fills up another measure. Why not just fill up 1 whole measure with a whole note? Because it gets all 4 beats. Let's come on down to our next line. Let's throw our 4/4 back in here for our time signature. Sorry that it's not quite lined up there. And let's throw in maybe a quarter note this time. And how about a couple of eighth notes? And how about another quarter note? And how about a couple more eighth notes? Uh-oh, don't lose track. Don't lose track. 1 beat, 2 beat, 3 beat, 4 beat. That is another bar line. Now, at the end of a piece of music, to signify to our reader that we're done, we don't write the end, okay? We put a double bar line. That lets the person who's reading our music know, hey, we're done. It's over. There's no more after this. It's the double bar. Kaput. Fini. All right? Now, let's go back and look at this. Here's beat 1. Here's beat 2. Beat 3. Oh, but it's got an and beat 4. Here's beats 1 and 2, because it's a half note. Here's beat 3, but it has a subdivision. And here's beat 4. This guy is all 4 beats. Okay? Right down here, one last measure, we've got a 1. This is beat 2, but it is subdivided by the 8th note, so there's an and. Here's beat 3, and then again beat 4 is subdivided. Now, my goal in doing this is to show you how easy it is to organize things into groups of 4, beats of 4, okay? But what I really need from you is for you to put some things together on paper that you can practice. In fact, we're going to swap some stuff out as we go through our class. You'll be writing some, having your partner read it back and forth, just to make sure that everyone is groovy reading these rhythms. Let's do this one together while I've got it up here. 1, 2, ready, and go. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 3, and 4. 1, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. That's it. Hopefully you were able to do that on your own. If you totally blew up, don't panic. That's why we made a video. Go back and review. Look at exactly how to count this stuff, because you're going to see it more and more. In fact, it's probably going to be a series of little quizzes for you. So be ready. I'll see you soon.